And now it's time for the game show that includes everybody, everywhere, all the time. It's time for Is It Inclusive? And here's your host, Mr. Saad. Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the game that includes everybody, everywhere, all the time. Is It Inclusive? And just in case you need a quick reminder as to what inclusivity means, let's turn it over to Mr. Glad.
Well, thanks, Mr. Saad. Inclusivity sounds a lot like the word inclusiveness, and that sounds a lot like the word inclusive, and that sounds just like the word include. And if you include everybody, then nobody feels left out. That's because inclusiveness is designed to let everybody feel like they're part of the team, part of the class, or part of your special group. Just like the Saad Squad. And when you're being inclusive, you accept other people for who they are and celebrate all the amazing things about them, either one-to-one or in a large group. And that means you treat other people as your equal, and not that one person is better than the other, but all people are wonderful because of their unique qualities. And you can show inclusivity all day, every day, just by being supportive to your friends, family, and loved ones. And that is what inclusivity is all about. Mr. Saad, back to you.
Thanks so much, Mr. Glad. Now, let's find out who's going to be playing for our studio audience today.
All right, we're looking for Steve. Steve, where are you? There you are. Come on down. You're the next contestant on Is It Inclusive?
Well, thanks so much, Steve. It's so nice to meet you, and thank you for joining us. Today we're going to ask you a bunch of questions, and it's up to you to figure out if it's inclusive or not. Are you ready, Steve?
All right, I'm ready. Let's go for it.
Terrific. All right, Steve, here comes your first question. It's going to be a scenario question, so I will read something to you, and you can listen to it, and then I want you to tell me which one is considered inclusiveness. Here we go. Let's say, for example, you've got a friend. Let's call them Charlie. And let's say that Charlie is a big fan of hot dogs. And Charlie asks you, hey, do you like hot dogs? Which one of these responses is considered inclusiveness? Is it option one? You look at Charlie and say, no way, man. Hot dogs smell like feet. Those are gross. Option number two. You look at him and say, ooh, never. Or option number three. You look at Charlie and say, you know what? Hot dogs aren't really my thing, but I'm glad you found them, and I'm glad you like them.
Well, Mr. Saad, I gotta say, making people feel bad for something that they want to eat just doesn't seem right. And if I go ahead and tell them that I'm not a huge fan, but just because they are doesn't mean it's wrong, that seems like it might be the right answer. So I'm gonna go with number three.
Oh, that's correct, Steve. A big part of inclusiveness is often taking into consideration other people's feelings. And just because your opinion is different from theirs doesn't make them wrong. That's correct, Steve. Congratulations. All right, here comes your next question on Is It Inclusive? You're playing soccer in the summertime, and you know everybody from your team. You arrive, though, to the first game, and there's somebody new. They're standing off to the side and not sure how to approach everybody. You walk over and simply introduce yourself. Steve, is this inclusiveness?
You know what, Mr. Saad? I don't think it matters whether it's a small thing or a big thing that makes somebody feel included. It's the fact that you tried to make them feel included, and that's what matters most.
That's right, Steve. Even a small gesture can make somebody feel included, and overall, make them feel welcome as part of the new team. Way to go. Well done today, Steve, and thanks to you all watching at home for joining us today. And remember, wherever you go and whatever you do, take the time to value other people in your lives and show them inclusiveness at the same time. And I'm willing to bet you're going to feel included too. And that's going to do it for today on Is It Inclusive? I'm your host, Mr. Saad. We'll see you next time, everybody. Did you like what you see? Thank you if you did. Maybe subscribe to the Mr. Saad Show, and you'll make me feel inclusive. I don't know what I'm singing about.
Hey, did anybody else notice that those guys look really similar? I think Mr. Saad and Mr. Glad are the same person.